Go on the air. Show what we're working on. Gonna copy. I don't know why I do this on the air. It is kind of dumb. Go to the Facebook debug. Paste. Debug it. Oh, that's an old stream. Okay. So let's scrape again. AC no DC. Sweet. Thumbnail's wrong. Well, let's scrape it again. Ah, now we can share it out. Imagine. Yeah. Don't you just love? Okay. Alright, we got that going out. People. People. Where are we at? We'll go to that one. Welcome back, Open Hours. I think I titled it right the first try. Oh, hello, kitty. There you are. Let's jump right in. Okay, so, and I know I don't know what context we're supposed to take this in. Okay. Let's adjust. Give that a slight upward tilt. That way we're not catching much of my fat head and stomach in the frame. Some, but not all. Okay. The idea is, when they are setting in the chair, and I don't know if it's a rocking chair or recliner or what it be, but if they're in the chair and this moves at all, power cuts to the laptop. Okay. Now, DC jacks on these laptops are never meant to let a wire hang and put weight on it. They had bought a new AC adapter, and still the problem persisted, so they're bringing it in. So I think there's a connection that's slightly loose. We're going to take a look at this DC jack today. I'm going to go to the KVM cam for a minute. I have to go over here and get this reload going. I'm going to be bouncing back and forth for a few. But that being said, let's see if we can today and get some kind of result. Ooh, fun, that's a long one. So F8 is the longer screw. I'll pop over here and do a 7-home premium 64-bit. I agree. Yes, start. If you don't agree, you will not proceed. That's what always confuses me. Okay, let's delete the rest of these partitions. Alright, totally unallocated or space, a raw hard drive. Windows is firing. Can we dual screen? Does it have an HDMI port? It do, I think. Let me look. I don't know if it has an HDMI. If it does, I will be happy to send the signal out. It says HDMI, but it's not knocked out for an HDMI port. So I don't think we're plugging one in there. And they don't have a graphics card. It's a no-win situation. Alright, back to this task at hand. Let's go ahead. We'll get the DC or AC adapter out of the way. We're going to go ahead and remove our battery, RAM door, and this is an older Toshiba, the Satellite P755-S5382 is an older model. If you want a real rough estimate, and this releases the ROM, let's find out. Does it? Yes. Roughly when was this computer from, provided this was never replaced? I don't know if it'll have a manufacture date on it or anything intelligent. 2011. So that's September 2011. So 11, 1 to 9 is 8. So coming up on 8 years. These new wonderful magical computers that you get at your average big box store, they're not 8, 9-year computers. Some of them. I mean, I guess some of them could be, but in my experience, no. This has a fan in it. This has proper cooling. Granted. Okay, so it's not even an AMD. It is an Intel chipset. And it's still running. Well, that's some good news at least. Let's go ahead and get these screws out. I do believe I will have somebody stopping in today. I do have the chat for YouTube up over there. Not that I'll expect anybody to ask anything or even talk. If you do, awesome. Alright, so the Windows 7 over Windows 7 reload is 29% of the way through. Let's get back on this task. So, interesting day. What day? Tuesday? I was out of the studio, out of the shop, the office. Pick a name and call it whatever you want. I was out of here most of the day. And then yesterday, also another most of the day out. And then today, just hectic. We are going to be probably setting up a cell phone, provided this customer stops in. We need to get his PIN code for checking his voicemail in order to swap his phone over, because I got to call and get his account number, and I will need that PIN code. But we have his phone here. He left his old phone here, so we have no way to contact him. He was supposed to stop down on his lunch, I guess. I think lunch was the agreement, but lunch for everybody is different depending when you work. Did I loosen this one? I did. Let's get the magnet. Yeah, I don't think. Nope, no extra pull. No extra pull is going to get that screw out of there. We'll get it out here in a little bit. Just rechecking the work. The only screw left in is the pain in the butt one that is stuck. To open this up, we need to get this keyboard up off of here. Wow, what a setup. Okay, so this is a backlit keyboard. I'm glad I saw that and didn't lift that any higher. It's no fun when you rip a ribbon cable. And the backlighting is actually on a separate ribbon cable compared to more modern laptops. So this had backlit keyboard way back 2011. Was that a thing for laptops other than Macs? I don't think so. heck just broke? Ah, okay, it's back. It's back, people. I lost sound for a moment. I don't know if it was battery related, wire related. Okay, sorry about that. You gotta fix stuff on the fly sometimes. Well, these are F8 screws. They're the same, at least on this model, they're the same length as the ones that are outside the case. Let's move this a little so I can have somewhere to stand. So other than that, I think all we need is the Wi-Fi, a couple ribbon, one or two ribbon cables, antennas. Okay, there's that. Let's get these. Oh wow, these are just some of those jerk wires, ones you just yank out. Okay, that's one. And that's one. Unplugged. I think we're ready to separate this case. Alright, let's try it. Okay. Almost. We need to, what's his name, to count in here, counting. And this is, yeah, this is the part where it's broken and doesn't want to come off. So let's flip it up on end. Or no, is it just, ooh, it's just that difficult. There we go. Okay. Top case off. So now what we need to do is test. And how far under the motherboard does that plug in? Okay, there's one. We will set that in. 1, 2. What we got to do to get this board up? Three, 4, and 5. Alright, there's that. How many screws? 1? Really? This is a 1 screw? 1 and done? Okay, I guess. Okay. Oh, we still, okay, so we're dealing with the heat sink from laptop. Let's just undo the fan and make our life worlds easier. We'll take the fan out and let the heat sink escape that cavity a lot easier. Okay, 1 and 2. And then we need our DC jack. Is it really? That's one of, is that a permanently attached to the board one? I think it might. Wow. Okay, yeah, so that's Let's take a look at that. I guess we'll just test it through the board. Okay. Let's do a time check for today, 4:08. We'll get the multimeter out. Oh, wow. We got a phone call coming in. Hello? Hi. No, this is Nick down at DT Computers. He's getting a new phone, and we have his phone here, but we was trying to get a hold of him because we need the code that he uses to access his voicemail. Yeah, if somebody called you from this number, it was us trying to get a hold of somebody that could get a hold of him. Alright, no visitors? No visitors, people. It's okay. Off the phone. We're back. Oh! And what was the name here? Yes. Richard. And this thing still has a sticker on it. Let's give it... Oh, that's a dumb name. Okay. Okay, that's a real dumb name. We're not going to call it that. We'll just let it do the default person's name dash PC. Oh, password. Did they have a password on the system? No, I don't believe so. Which is not secure. I don't recommend having a computer without a password on it. Give me one moment, people. I've got a product key to enter here. Okay. If it works in the first go, I'll be surprised. Or if I can type it on the first go. Let's find out. Hopefully, with any luck. Okay, back to our above cam. We'll see if that's going to go through. Hopefully. As for now, let's get out our multimeter. Now, one simple thing that we can do before we even start adding power to the situation, okay? We'll do it like that. That should kick the display so it's readable. Okay, I like it. This computer activated. Recommended settings will set the time from something other than Pacific to Eastern. It is Thursday, February 7th, 2019, 4:18, roughly sure. Pick a network for Windows 7 and let it move on. Let's get our ground or common. Calm, I don't know what. Alright, so one way we're going to try and do this before introducing power to the situation. We're going to alright, it's wedged in nice and tight. Wiggling this does nothing. So other than, let's zoom this in a little, we'll go right, just for y'all. Okay, so that wire, I guess we still need to test the other one. So let's go ahead, find a spot to jam this in. There, that should touch our center pin. Let's check. Indeed it does. Okay. Wiggling the wire does nothing, so that jack is good so far, and that's just with continuity. It's touching the outside, touching the outside. Let's go ahead and silence that. Get up and go alarm. Okay, gotta keep an eyeball on the clock now, people. Okay, so just with continuity, we've determined that our DC jack is good and nothing is loose. But now, let's go ahead and introduce some power into it and see where I think the disconnect is happening, okay, is with the end here. Now one, if this is indeed the plug they bought, this is way too big. It's spreading open the DC jack housing, the plastic bits there. And the center pin may be a little bigger than what is needed. I mean, it's big enough to let that one fit, so it's definitely touching there. But then the outside, I'm not quite sure what's going on with that. So let's introduce some power. And I do believe when we move this is when the power will cut out. Okay, so before we plug that in, we're gonna get our helping hands. Our helping friendly hands. Which way will make sense? That will be black. Now, the other day when doing the Xbox controller and charging, I clamped in my smaller leads. I'm going to go ahead and use the bigger ones today. Bit of a different story, getting them clamped in. This one, I'm not even sure we're going to be able to grab it. You know what? That's what we're going to do. We are going to use different leads on this. We know they're good. We tested their continuity. Am I saying that right? I tested that the other day, but where be they? Where be they? In with my charger, I believe. Yes. Okay. So here's what we're doing. Ooh, you got that sparkle of the green screen and the camera in the way. There, we'll move that out of the way a little bit. Oh, guess what? That is like let's get our knife. Get our knife and trim up around this lead a little to give it a little more gusto to plug in with. Take a couple swipes around it like so, cutting the plastic away from the banana plug, and then we're going to cut perpendicular, is that the word? Just to get a little bit more. We'll cut there. And then there. They just barely do not reach down in to plug in to, these are from, what did I say, an old multimeter I had, old one. A little square one that ran on 9-volt batteries, and it was a 9-volt battery. Pretty horrid, if I can say that. Alright, let's go one more round on the top. Try and pull all that off. Okay, now we should, oh yeah, we can get a solid connection. While we're at it, here's what I did for those old leads. Basically just cut a little bit off and zoom it. And take that part and cut across the whole way around. So, and this is simply because the banana plug, or quick connect, whatever you want to call it, will not plug into the port on my new multimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and trim this plastic off as well. Ooh, I don't like that sound, but I'm pretty sure that was just me cutting through the plastic and the blade hitting the metal. Indeed. Alright, now we have a lot that will plug in and give us a solid connection where if I moved them before they would unplug. Alright, let's go ahead. All kind of stuff happening here. Go to above. We're going to get our helping hands. Clamp one of our leads in. Wow. Pretty horrible there. Yeah, there we go. It came back. Thought we was having more troubles. See, I don't have anybody else here to hold these, or I would just be like, hey, hold this. Alright, so let's run the screw down, the wing nut down. We're going to have it hold this with enough height. We can adjust it somewhat, but we want enough to go down and hit on our board there, and then we want the power side as well to go down. And we can get these hopefully about the same height. First, let's get it off continuity. We're going to go up to, we'll go 200 volts to be safe. And that is what we're going to be checking. That spot there. Give it a bit. Wedge those in there a little bit. That should be that. And when we plug it in, hopefully, we will see power on the multimeter. So let's find out. And this is just okay, so we got nothing. What if we press down a little on these? 19.3 volts. So we just didn't have enough weight for it to get a connection that way. And there we go, 19.3. And now when this would wiggle, I really think it has, oh. How are we going to do this, people, to where it's not going to lose its connection? So moving the jack around, well, I'm guessing that moves the pins there. Let's go ahead and get a good solid connection where we know we're not being cheated on our voltage. When you move it here, nothing. It's not losing connection, so we're pretty good there. It is all on this end where we lose our connectivity. Okay, so new DC jack, I'm going to say, even though it has it, no, it just cut completely. Literally just cut out completely. We are plugged in. I am holding these way down into this board, and we're getting nothing even with that plugged in completely. Now, is it a break in the wire? It doesn't appear to be the case. Break in solder, no. It appears to be internally with the jack. And I think that's from having the wrong one, and it pushed in and broke something inside. Okay. Let's go ahead and put these in one more spot. I just want to test one other thing here. Let's go with that spot. And right away up to 19.3. Yeah. How? Honestly, I don't know what to think. I don't know what to make of it. This is going to warrant more testing. At the very minimum, desoldering this from the motherboard, as I don't... That's a heck of a way to put a DC jack on. Just, I mean, solder it right through the board. Are any of them loose? Will it make a difference? Okay, so here's some more news, a revelation. This DC jack on this laptop has already been replaced. Once, I can say 100% for sure. We have residue of flux left over. If not flux, it might be rosin core solder. The soldering on them is not anywhere near to the standard of the rest of the components on this board. Anywhere where there's a pin coming through, which are few and far between on this board, basically the DC jack and maybe a couple capacitors. Other than that, the solder for those pins, even the solder for this battery connector is good. That has pins running through the board, and it's great. It looks like normal. The ones for the DC jack are 100%. They've been replaced. They left a residue there. That and the connector is a little funky. Out of place. Oh wow. I wonder if that's how this comes off of there. Wouldn't that be something? That literally just slides back? How would that? And to what end? I don't think that's how that comes off. It's a good thought, but no. No. Now granted, there's one other, and I know you don't want to be using a laptop that you're using, and then the power cuts out and then comes back on, power cuts, comes back on. It's not going to be good for a battery and the whole system. Power being cut in and out when you, like that, real quick, the split second loss of power and back on. That being said, their battery doesn't work at all, so basically anytime the power would cut out for even half a second, the computer would shut down. So, yeah, we're going to take a look at a couple of these components. Looks like we have some fuses, some caps, maybe some IC chips, resistors. Is the stuff in that general area? I don't know. We're going to have to do testing with the multimeter to test some of that. I am going to, not today, I don't have the time to get out the hot air station. We'll pick this one up tomorrow. I'm going to reflow the solder points right here for the actual, where the DC jack connects to the motherboard. And we'll see. Maybe it's that their battery is, it's not that their battery is bad, maybe it just can't charge. And if that's the case, motherboard issues, I say get rid of the 8, moving up on 9-year-old laptop. I mean, is that even thinkable at this point? Let's do a continuity check on some of these components and see. It's really trying. We're not getting a beep, but we're getting, and if we hook it up the other way, oh, we're not getting, that's not continuity. We're not even getting, that should be what, diode mode, if it has that. I'll have to look. We're getting nothing that way, but if we read it this way, okay, well, I'm going to wrap that for here today. It is 4:38, time to go. Thanks for popping in for a little bit. Yeah, this computer was already in and went back out into sitting in a chair with the, I don't even know where it goes at this point, with the DC jack or the AC adapter plugged in and having it hang. I don't know if they're rocking or reclining or what. But it cuts power. Even if you're not rocking or reclining, it still cuts power. If you just wiggle a little, and that's not very good, especially for a laptop that does not even have a working, functioning battery. Time to diagnose this board further tomorrow and see, can it even charge a battery? If they were to get a battery, is it the board or is it truly the jack? We'll take a closer look at this thing tomorrow. I'm gonna try and get this out of the way here. I'll be back up there for a second. I'm trying to get this done and get it out of here, but for today, we're gonna go. Windows looking good. Downloading, installing updates. I think we'll let that continue with, make sure this thing don't go to sleep quick, and then we'll get our butt on the way to work. And there you have it. Okay. Power, 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 power. I'm gonna say, is it gonna outlast me today? If it does, if it's gonna go till I can't, till I gotta go, then you're not getting your power options changed. Not today. Not today, sad little computer. hard disk, turn off the hard disk after 20 minutes is bogus. We're going to be doing updates that take much longer than that. So we're going to turn it to never. We're going to let it sleep, never. We're going to allow hybrid sleep, not at all. Hibernate after, never. There you have that. After, there we go. After updates and everything are done, we will have that computer set back to its normal power options. Alright people, thanks for hanging out. We didn't solve anything today. Tomorrow is a new day. We'll try and get a train wreck out of this motherboard. I think it's interesting that it gets power and then don't. We're gonna have to test the power supply. Kind of everything is at the point where it's gonna need a good testing. So tune in tomorrow for that. Hopefully it's not a hectic day and I'm pulled out of the office and we can finish this up. Thanks again for watching. I will see you then. Have a good evening. I'm going to do the delivery thing.